So, what really happened to the Righteous Brothers? Let's find out. Our story starts in Orange County, California, in the early 1960s. Bill Medley was a baritone with a deep, soulful voice, and Bobby Hatfield was a tenor who could practically reach the heavens. Both were performing in separate local groups, Medley in the Paramours and Hatfield in the Variations. One night in 1962, after performing together on the same bill, they realized their voices blended perfectly. They soon joined forces under Medley's band name, the Paramours, but after a black Marine shouted, "That's righteous, brother," during a performance, the nickname stuck. And just like that, the Righteous Brothers were born. Their early work was a mix of R&B and pop influences, and they quickly became regulars on the California club circuit. However, their big break came in 1963 when they caught the attention of producer Phil Spector, who recognized something special in their distinctive blue-eyed soul sound. Under Phil Spector's guidance, the Righteous Brothers recorded what would become one of the most iconic songs of the 20th century, "You've Lost That Lovin' Feelin'." Released in 1964, the song was built on Spector's signature wall of sound production, lush orchestration, echo chambers, and layer upon layer of instruments. Medley took the lead with his haunting low register, while Hatfield's voice soared on the final chorus. The result? Magic. The single hit number one on both the US and UK charts, became the most played song on American radio of the 20th century, and permanently etched the Righteous Brothers into pop history. They followed it up with a string of hits like "Just Once in My Life," "Unchained Melody," and "Ebb Tide." While Spector had originally planned "Unchained Melody" as a B-side, Hatfield's powerhouse vocal turned it into an enduring classic, later re-entering the charts in 1990 after its use in Ghost. In 1965, they had a couple of guest appearances in the films A Swingin' Summer and Beach Ball. The Righteous Brothers had officially defined the genre known as blue-eyed soul, white artists authentically capturing the emotional depth of R&B. But success didn't come without tension. By the late 1960s, creative differences started to pull the duo apart. Medley was the producer and arranger behind many of their records, while Hatfield preferred focusing on vocals. After leaving Spector's Phillies Records, the pair signed with Verve and scored another hit, "You're My Soul and Inspiration." However, by 1968, they decided to go their separate ways, both pursuing solo careers. Medley found modest success with solo releases and collaborations, while Hatfield formed a short-lived version of the Righteous Brothers without him with Jimmy Walker. The era of the classic duo seemed to be over, at least for now. In 1974, nostalgia for 60s music was on the rise, and so were the Righteous Brothers. The pair reunited and scored a comeback hit with "Rock and Roll Heaven," a tribute song honoring late rock icons like Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin. The track reached the top 3 on Billboard, proving the brothers still had that love and feelin'. Throughout the 1970s and 80s, they toured heavily, playing Las Vegas residencies and becoming fixtures of the oldies circuit. Their harmonies still electrified crowds, even as trends shifted from rock to disco to pop. In late 1987, Bill Medley's duet with Jennifer Warnes, "I've Had the Time of My Life," which appeared on the soundtrack for Dirty Dancing, topped the Billboard Hot 100. But perhaps their greatest second wind came in 1990, when "Unchained Melody" exploded back into the charts after its haunting appearance in Ghost. For many younger fans, that song introduced the Righteous Brothers for the very first time, a bridge between generations. A greatest hits CD collection of the original recordings called "The Very Best of the Righteous Brothers," "Unchained Melody" was released later by Verve/Polydor. Sadly, Their story took a tragic turn in 2003 when Bobby Hatfield passed away unexpectedly just hours before a scheduled concert. He was 63. The cause was later determined to be a heart attack due to cocaine use. For Bill Medley, the loss was devastating. After decades of friendship and creative partnership, the surviving Righteous Brother couldn't imagine continuing the group. He stepped away from performing for several years, but Medley's love for the music never faded. In 2016, he decided to revive the Righteous Brothers name, not as a replacement for Hatfield, but as a tribute. He partnered with Bucky Hurd, a veteran singer from Las Vegas who could match Hatfield's powerful range, and began touring again under the classic name. Today, the Righteous Brothers continue to tour across the U.S., performing hits that span more than half a century. Bill Medley, now in his 80s, still commands the stage with his signature baritone and humble charisma, while Bucky Hurd keeps Hatfield's spirit alive with soaring tenor vocals. They've released a few updated recordings and live albums, and their shows often feature heartfelt tributes to Bobby, reminding fans that while one half of the duo may be gone, the brotherhood endures. The Righteous Brothers were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2003, the same year Hatfield passed, cementing their place among music's most enduring legends. In early 2024, after 6 decades of touring, Bill Medley announced his forthcoming retirement from the road with the Righteous Brothers' Lovin' Feelin' Farewell Tour. The tour commenced in January 2024, running throughout the year and into early 2025. In 2025, Medley released a solo album, Straight from the Heart. Few voices have ever blended like Bill Medley and Bobby Hatfield's, one rich and soulful, the other soaring and angelic. Together, they created some of the most beautiful love songs ever recorded. From humble California clubs to international fame, from heartbreak to heavenly harmonies, the story of the Righteous Brothers proves that some music is truly timeless. And that's what happened to the Righteous Brothers.